Hey gang, Dr. Matt here, also known as the Ketodontist and proud owner and operator of Yates Center Dental here in Yates Center, Kansas. And it's a beautiful fall day. I got the grill going, warming up here for some nice bone-in ribeyes. But at first, I wanted to talk with you a little bit about something that I really don't think is talked about enough in my profession. And that is, what is the true root cause of cavities? Cavities are a big deal. They affect the majority of the population. In fact, it's the most prevalent disease in kids and teenagers aged 6 to 19. So, what would it be all that surprising if I told you that ultimately cavities are caused by your diet? Would that be a surprise to you? Because ultimately, the biggest driver for dental disease, and especially cavities, is sugar consumption. Now, we all know that sugar is bad for our teeth, that candy bars and soda rot our teeth, right? I mean, that's not a surprise to anybody, or at least I wouldn't think it should be. However, let's look at everything else that the standard American eats. See, sugar isn't just found in candy and pop or soda. There is sugar in grains, breads, pastas, starches, things like potatoes and even sweet potatoes and French fries and potato chips. The more refined, the more cavity-causing these things become. And there are also sugars in fruits, and especially more refined forms like dried fruits or fruit snacks or fruit juices. And then even milk has lactose. It has simple sugars in it. And so really any carbohydrate that is fermentable can cause cavities. Now, there are certain types of carbohydrates that are very high in fiber, very, very low in sugars and simple carbohydrates that aren't very carcinogenic, and that would include things like your cruciferous vegetables, your dark green leafy vegetables, non-starchy vegetables, that type of stuff. But really, any carbohydrate that is fermentable can be broken down by the bacteria in our mouth and create an acidic environment that leads to cavities or mineral loss of the teeth. And so that is why, just like we can't outrun a bad diet, we can't really outbrush a bad diet either. We're not really suffering from floss deficiency here, or fluoride deficiency for that matter, even though I am a fan of fluoride. But that's just kind of covering up one of the root causes of all of this stuff, and that is excess carbohydrate consumption, especially in the form of simple and refined carbohydrates. So if you have dental disease, if you have dental problems, one of the first things that I would recommend anybody to do is to cut out all sugars and grains. Cut out any refined processed carbohydrates that you can, and try to adopt more of a whole foods diet. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm also a certified primal health coach, and in that way of looking at things, we kind of look at things through an ancestral health lens, because believe it or not, while cavities are pretty prevalent nowadays, just because something is common doesn't mean that it's normal. And really, our ancestors before the Industrial Revolution, or actually before the invention of agriculture, cavities were pretty darn rare. And what did they eat? Well, they just did not have a constant supply of refined carbohydrates and simple carbohydrates and all these hyperpalatable foods. So that's why I'm really a big fan of the alternative food pyramid, like what we teach through the Primal Health program, and where, our basis, instead of being these grains and pastas, the base of which is very carcinogenic. Instead, we make our base full of, low sugar, high fiber, nutrient dense foods, vegetable matter. And then in the middle, we have our lean proteins, we have our healthy fats, and these act as the building blocks, especially the protein, acts as the building blocks for all of the basically human structure. So that's why I'm a big fan of kind of this paleo-ish diet. Those of you who follow my work know I think paleo is kind of a nebulous term, but basically it's cutting out the grains, cutting out the sugars, and adopting a whole foods kind of diet and lifestyle. So I hope this helps. I hope you found this informative, because ultimately at the end of the day, sugar consumption is really what is the biggest driver. And that's not just me saying that. That's actually, there's an article published in the Journal of Pediatrics in 2014 that's saying exactly what I'm saying here, and that is sugar consumption and refined carbohydrate consumption is the biggest driver for dental disease, especially dental caries. So hope you guys found this informative. If you have anything that you'd like to learn more about, just hit me a line at ketodontist@gmail.com, or hit me up on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook or whatever. I'll try to get back to you. So until next time.